Yeah, it's a Friday night flicking, you know it's going down. Get your friends and your knives and let's have a good time. Got that play, click, clacking and I'm ready to go. Gotta check the homie Groove on to see what knives he's got.
I can't believe it's Friday and we made it. Get the weekend started, let's go live on YouTube. It's Friday, I can't believe we made it. It's Friday. I can't believe it's Friday and we made it. Get the weekend started, let's go live on YouTube. Ooh. It's a Friday night flick and you know it's going down. Get your friends and your knives and let's have a good time. Got that blade click clacking and I'm ready to go. Gotta check the homie Groove on to see what knives he's got. Ooh. Gotta check the homie Groove on to see what knives he's got. Oh, I can't believe it's Friday and we made it. Get the weekend started, let's go live on YouTube. It's Friday, I can't believe we made it. It's Friday. Friday night fix is ready, here we go. Watch me scramble to complete a 3-hour show. We'll talk about knives and what's on your mind. Never know what will come up this time. We vibe and we chill, including spirited debate, but we do it with love and never with hate. We'll talk about knives and what's on your mind. Never know what will come up this time. We vibe and we chill, including spirited debate, but we do it with love and never with hate. We vibe and we chill, including spirited debate, but we do it with love and never with hate. Let's go dark, the stream comes on. Javon's here, the vibe is strong. Click and clack, the steel in sight. Every edge sharp in Friday night. Night flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide. Friday night flicks worldwide. The craft with steady flow, steel and story you'll wanna know. Flick of the wrist, how smooth it goes. Every frame a master show. Night flicks dance under the light. Blades that shine and cut so tight. Handles spin and edges glide.
A little bit, but are you high on cigarettes? And when that stuff runs out, you're gonna wanna make it. Are you high on cigarettes?
Let's watch Javon's witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's witness and get high on cigarettes. Do you know that you're right or wrong? 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 He don't smoke them, but he loves it when you do. That's why he's high on cigarettes. And if you find him, you should light him up a few. He's getting higher on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's witness and get high on cigarettes. Let's watch Javon's witness and get high on cigarettes. Do you know that you're right or wrong? that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong? Do you know that you're right or wrong?
Do you know if you're right or wrong?
I told you to go to bed already, would you please?
I'm not tired!
I told you 5 times to go to bed.
Oh, come on, Jim, please.
Hey, come on, come on.
Is this what you had in mind when you asked me to marry you?
No. Remember when you first fell in love?
There's something more like this in mind.
Keep it that way. From the Mormons, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
There's too much water in that kettle. And now the lid's on crooked. And that means disaster for this lady. Because she is on a boat. Don't boil a kettle on a boat.
What is going on, kids? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I hope you can hear me. I'm about to say howdy to everybody. I just wanted to welcome everyone in. Let you know it'll be a cool night. Got some cool stuff to show off. Got some cool stuff to talk about. And we'll come up with some stuff. First thing I've got to do is give Brother Neil McKenzie a man hug for 29 months of being a channel member. Thank you so much, brother. I love you, dude. And I just changed the banner because this week there's a little shuffle in the member live stream. I'm actually going to do some part-time hours on Saturday down at Knives and More. So I'm going to have to do it Sunday at 4. Remember, you just have to pop in for a second. You don't have to be there for the whole live. It's only an hour, but you can just jump in. If you win, I'll call you. I'll hook you up. I'll DM you. So I've put that out on my members post and I've got it on the stream. Hopefully it'll just be this Sunday. It may be up through the holidays where I pull some Saturdays, get a couple extra hours, but it is what it is. I wish I could go live from down there. One day they'll give me a code and I will. What is going on, Henry G? Good to see you, brother. Ground Fog's in the house. Mr. Space Ghost channel member. What's happening, brother? He must have snow. Nice, nice. El Cap Addict channel member. The man, the myth, the legend. Good to see you, brother. Marco, what is going on, bro? We got Knife Nut 69 channel member in the house. Good to see you, buddy. And we got Bubba is here tonight. Bubba 92473. YouTube's doing weird stuff with handles, y'all. It has nothing to do with us. I can't change it on the live. It's I've gotten a couple of things where they've talked about trying to minimize fraud, or I don't know. They haven't made it permanent because it goes back and forth, but I've seen it on lives, and then I've seen channel names or handle names. Be Shady, my man. Dude, I appreciate you so much for supporting me, for watching my stuff, for being a channel member. You are the bomb. You got cool knives. Your posts are epic on Instagram. You keep me on my toes, watching, learning about new stuff, and I appreciate it. I'm going to show y'all some new stuff tonight, by the way. I don't know if y'all remember, if you were here the Saturday or the Friday after Thanksgiving or after Halloween, Greg Datcher of Datcher Knives joined us. He was the artist guy who makes knives. Well, he just made a delivery down to Knives and More. We picked up about 8 knives from him. And holy shit, I'm going to show you a picture. I haven't taken good pictures of them, but the one that he showed us that is the, he calls it a sawback Bowie with a copper my Damascus from Baker Forge. And it's got the sheath that has the cobra skin, and then it has a cobra head up the top. Oh my God, dude. It's just beautiful art. Beautiful art. Robert, what is up? Channel member, good to see you, brother. And remember, guys, you'll see it again. I'll put out more reminders. But tomorrow, unfortunately, at 2:30, I will be slinging knives at Knives and More. But Sunday at 4 o'clock, I think that's everybody's kind of out of there. And then I'm just going to be doing it where, again, if you've got another live or something to do, if you can just pop in for 60 seconds so you can do your business. Do your business and go. Thomas, what is up, brother? Good to see you, man. Mrs. Smith, what is up? Kathleen, great to see you, young lady. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Homer Felites, channel members in the house. Everybody talking to each other. I love that, man, because that's what I want the live to be. I wish I had something that was earth-shaking, that was awesomely entertaining, but I just love having a place for you guys to hang out and talk, and for us to kind of go back and forth and try to communicate, have some time together. And then I go off deep ends and go down rabbit holes, but y'all put up with it and still continue to talk to each other. That's what's important. Chris229, channel member, what is happening, my friend? And then we got Neil. I'm not going to give him a pass over, even though we've given him a man hug already. Great to see you, Neil McKenzie, channel member, longtime supporter of the channel, of Javon's Knife Flicks. And dude, I appreciate it. My little buddy, the roaming gnome, Richard Hopkins, coming from points unknown, but definitely somewhere beautiful and somewhere rural. Thank God for satellites. Good to see you, Richard. I've got a cool fixie to show you, and I had a guy come in yesterday. You might have talked to me about these guys. We'll go to their Instagram in a little while, but Creeley Blades. I got to experience my first Creeley Minnow in Magnum Max, and a little bit bigger Creeley Mako in Magna Cut. USA maker, really neat knife. About the size, the Minnow's about the size of my Chickadee. However, it's got a really contoured handle. I'll show it to you here in a second. And the one that this guy that came in Knives and More had was Magnum Max, which is Laren's next iteration of Magna Cut, which only my understanding is a handful of dealers or makers, Creeley being one of them, have been supplied it to make knives with. So hopefully I'm not missing anybody. There's 1931 Leatherworks. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Terry. He's making all the sheaths for the fret. They don't look like this. They look like this. I've got one more that I'm getting a few things done to, but that is the sheaths that come with the fret, made by 1931 Leatherworks. You can talk to him and get something more bougie, but he made this for me, and I've got a fret to show y'all here that I've had Tate down at Knives and More do a couple of things too, kind of to make it unique. But let me say hey to Ryan Ellis. What is up, homeboy channel member? Good to see you, dude. You've got a link. I know you won't join us because you don't hang out with us anymore, but you got a link if you ever want to. You know, just go to Instagram. You know where it is. Good to see you, Ryan. I hope you're getting your work behind you, man, and you're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you're buying some cool knives in the interim. But yeah, the knives that Greg Datcher brought down are just, I mean, the handles, the blades are stunning, without a doubt. But the handle work, oh my God. He was showing them on the live stream, but you can't really see them through a little camera with the type of detail work that he's doing. I think I'm getting close to the bottom. Bluminati Ninja, what is up, my friend? Good to see you, buddy. I don't want to miss anybody. Thomas. But I do want to show y'all some stuff real quick. What is up, Cicero? Welcome, channel member. Good to see you, brother. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Kick back, hang with us for a while. I hope you got time. I don't know what else is going on tonight. I've not been plugged in. This week I had to take my dad to 2 doctor's appointments. Richard Hopkins, channel member for 9 months. Dude, thank you, brother. I appreciate the support. And even if you just watch the content, hang out in the lives, hit like, I love you just as much. I appreciate all the support from that you all give me, not just channel members. I think you are all wonderful. And the fact that people watch the content I put out, because it's kind of basic, it's not as, I'm going to start doing some more. I've got a couple of things planned coming up. With one of them is going to be a very, very thorough walkthrough of Knives and More, where I show some more close-ups, where I've got a table set out. You guys won't know it. It'll be edited together. But let me jump into showing y'all some stuff. The first stuff is, this is kind of cool. This is something one of the customers at Knives and More walked in and showed me. And this is a sheath that is made for knives, ship free. I'll go to it on the website in a second. It's a little double sheath. It's actually made for a flashlight or a pen and a knife. They make this one and one a little bigger. As you can tell, it's a pocket sheath dropper. For me, I either keep it in my right coat pocket or in my back pocket, but it allows me to carry. I carry my Guardian 3 and Rex 45. And of course, a Chickadee. And this sheath is $34. It's not a Lancelot leather sheath. It's not a 1931 leatherwork sheath. But I just, when the guy showed it to me, one of the customers at Knives and More, I thought it was pretty cool. I'd forgotten I ordered it. I ordered it one night. But I'm going to show it to you guys because it's different. And I think, because I can't find anything on Northwoods, I tried to tag them on an Instagram post, and it was Northwoods, the guy that makes the sheaths for Kevin. And I've got some of his sheaths. And he's like, dude, that's not me. I was like, didn't think it was, but at the same time, I didn't know. So I want to go real quick and share. I don't go to Knife Ship Free that much. I used to be an affiliate, but since I've not done a ton, I bought one Bark River from them, and then I heard about this sheath. So, all right. So this is the Allegheny. This is not the one I have. This one's a little bit bigger. And this is the Pocono, the one that I have. The big one is overall length 6 inches by 5.75. And the one I got is, whoops. Is 5 by 4.5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a link in case you guys are interested in just looking at these. This is just a regular link. I don't have an updated affiliate link with them. I've got one, but I don't have it on my thing. But I thought it was a cool. Chris229 has been a member for 23 months, dude. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, brother. But anyway, I thought that was cool, kind of different. Is it something you need? Absolutely not. Was it something that I found worth dropping $34 on? I'm an idiot, so I did. The other cool thing, brother Shane let me borrow this. This is the Steve Kalari Customs, Super Steel Steve's, Tried and True, which is the collaboration that he did with Alex Steingraber. They made these out of K390. I forget what they're heat treated at. Kyle put an edge on it. It is micarta handle, thin K390 blade steel. a little bigger than what I consider a daily driver. It's probably the size of a Spyderco Paramilitary 2. It would be a right pocket knife for me, kind of a primary carry. But what an elegant little laser beam this is. It's very sharp. And it'll stay that way because the heat treat on it's done by Alex. It's a gorgeous little knife. Anyway, so there'll be a overview coming on this knife. And then a couple of things that excited me from Kaiser that I got to do some unboxings on. I think I've done the full review on this one, but Richard knows, and a lot of you guys know, that the Kaiser Mini Harpoon, which is a collaboration with Maverick Customs, is one of my favorite small EDC knives. And they've always had the 3V one, and they've got a full-size harpoon too, but I like the Mini. They've released it, and this is $119 in satin, carbon fiber handle, and M390 blade steel. And I put it in my 3-feather EDC sheath that's made for the Mini Harpoon. It's a right pocket dropper because it's too deep. It's too long to fit in my back pocket. There are a couple of knives or several knives that just don't lend to my primary liking to carry as back pocket. But the Kaiser Mini Harpoon and M390 is a winner. We'll go to Kaiser's site because I think they might have put it out in one other super steel as well. The other one, I've been seeing Melissa Backwoods showing this one off. This is a Drop Bear 3. So y'all remember the little Drop Bear fixed blade, the Drop Bear folder. This is the Drop Bear 7, that huge knife, the biggest Kaiser knife I've ever seen. This one is a medium-sized knife. Again, it's kind of set up for a camp knife. Those bolts, and I would do it, but we'll do it later if we have time. You can put a penny or a dime in there, and you can remove those bolts. And the scales are hollowed out enough to where you can put some tinder or some fire starter or some money. You can hide things behind the scales, and they're easy to release by just using a coin. This one's D2. This is one of the base ones, but it's a great cutter. It's I think a sub $60 knife, really nice forward finger choil. You know, they make them also in AEBL and some other nicer steels. This is one of the Amazon ones, but just a really cool knife. The Drop Bear and Azo, who's one of Kaiser's main internal designers, did a great job with that. The other stuff, I think I showed y'all, I gave you, I know I did the channel members, a preview of. This is a Christmas knife, but it's also a new Kaiser release. This is a sheepdog utility. So I'm going to take the Christmas knife. Now I'm going to grab the micarta. I've also got it in G10 because they've got two ways to affix the blade. So these are top liner locks. If y'all remember the sheepdog, this is kind of done about the size of the medium sheepdog. It's got a really nice choil. And if you notice here, you've got almost every bit of that blade available to cut. There's no wiggle in the blade. This one mounts with 2 screws. So you just simply take those 2 screws, which are my preferred. This is my favorite over the 2. And it's not because the blade's any looser in one or the other. I just think this one will wear longer. So it's the Kaiser Sheepdog utility knife. Comes with a pack of blades, but you can use any blades you want. Top liner lock. The other configuration is identical. It's a top liner lock. This one happens to be G10. But if you notice, it's got a little orange thing right there on the blade. And then what it is a tab. Just simply push, and it allows you to pull the blade out because you're pushing down that little thing, which works well, especially if you're out in the woods. But for me, I prefer something a little more stable. I'm trying to do this in the dark. Y'all bear with me while I try not to cut myself. Let's see. There we go. Not in there, bitch. All right. And then you want to wiggle it till it locks in. That's why I don't like this manual one, even though it is, I guess, in fact, now it's locked in. So after all that, I got it locked in with a little flat screwdriver. I could do the other two, and I know I'm putting those screws through the two areas, and I don't have to worry about it. They're both great knives. It's not a price difference in either. And then one of the Christmas knives they sent was the drop bear utility. I think this knife may have been already available. I just wasn't aware of it. But the drop bear is also very ergonomical. They use a very similar blade mounting, actually identical mechanism. So you've got all that blade to cut with. And these are just great box openers. You know, I talked to a guy who works for a company where they have to have the only knife is Fastenal. And they all carry Chris Reeves and stuff like that. But in their handbook, they're supposed to only carry box cutters. Anything else is considered questionable, right? So I was showing him the sheepdog that I carry in my bag, the canvas my card one, and he thought it was pretty cool because it gives you a fidgety item that works like a knife, but it cuts like a box cutter. And in some cases, it may, you know, live up to a rule that you've got to deal with. The other thing that Kaiser dropped out is last month I showed y'all a purpose-driven Slurpee Saver knife called the Defensor in M390, DLC coded, $199, which is a lot of money for a little knife that is worth it in materials and design, but it's really got one purpose. So Kaiser came out with the Defensor, a budget version. This is in 440C, which is all you need. It's DLC coded. No, it's not going to hold an edge as long, but are you going to really be cutting with that? Or are you going to be using that as, you know, something that you might need to cut paracord with or use as a defense weapon? It's less than $50. So the Defensor in 440C was just released. So if anybody's been after this knife or thought this was a cool design, but did not want to get an M390, $200, very limited into what you can do with that knife, this is now under $50, which I thought was pretty cool. It's got a deep sheath. So it's great for putting on a pack, putting in your car, putting, you know, on your belt. It's just an interesting sheath. Very light, very thin, kind of cool. And then inside of Larry's or 1931 Leatherworks sheath, I've got my fret that's had a few things done to it. The maker's mark's still there. It's just very faint because I had Tate bead blast this. So it's not, just to see what it would be like. So this is a bead blasted fret with resin G10 handles. Tate also crowned the spine. He charged me for that. I spent about, and I got an inside deal. I spent about $45 on this fret, getting it, trying to think what it was called. I guess it was bead blasted, but I don't know the medium. He uses a very interesting medium. If Shade comes in at any time, he'll know what it was. But I thought it made it look kind of different, made it look cool. I love this knife. I have not had one in about a month, but this knife is really just a cutter. Holds an edge very well. I'm partial to it. I love it. I keep it in my back pocket, and I plan on really putting this one through its paces. Hopefully getting it to where it gets dull, where I can put an edge on it. Because the last one I sharpened, it just felt so good under the stone. I think the scales look great. I think it's just it's evolving. Kind of is the way I look at it. Paul Mills, what is up, brother? And I've got another one that is also being bead blasted, and I'm going to be picking it up tomorrow. So I do have one that'll be available in a sheath, so it'll be in this sheath. Bump bump. But it's got blue handles. They look amazing. I'll do a video. How did he bead blast without taking off the handles? That is a great question. It is a very interesting process, Kathleen. I never knew how that worked. But if you can picture, and you guys have probably seen a bead blasting machine, but basically it is a big cabinet, and it's got two gloves that go inside out. So you stick your hand in the gloves to go inside the cabinet. And in the cabinet, there's a little gun. Like if you think of the hose gun that you use when you go to the car wash place, but think of a lot smaller one, right? So with the gloved hand, you pick up this little gun. And then he had the handle taped off, and he's holding it with that other glove. And you apply the bead blast by spraying it with the handle. So he was able to just sit there and work it just like you would a flashlight going up and down it. So it wasn't tumbled. So maybe I'm saying the wrong thing, because I know you can take blades off and put them in a tumbler, and that does something, stone washes or something. But with the bead blast, it just has this fine glass medium in there, and it's in a enclosed cabinet, and it sprays through a high pressure like air gun. So he was able to direct where he wanted to bead blast and hold off and cover up where he didn't want to. So it's not like a tumbler per se. Luke, what is up? Shane does. I'll tell you what, man. Shane, love him, hate him, give him a hard time. Conga Blaze, what is up? He makes some of the sharpest, or knives that will get the sharpest. They might not be the most beautiful knives. They might not be the most refined knives, but they are by far, all the care has gone into the grinding, the heat treating, the making them be an amazing tool. One of the ones we took up there to have some stuff done too was the one that he's done for Bob DeMarco, which is a much bigger knife. But Shane can make a badass knife. He really is talented. Mad Yako, channel member, what's up, brother? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. But yeah, he is an absolute, he can get it done. You know, it's just cool to see. And when we went up there and talked to Tate, because one of the things that I think Tate's going to be able to do, that we just got to laser at Knives and More. So the maker's mark, we've just got to figure out the logistics of how to get them. I don't think I'm going to have Tate do all the makers. Now, what I didn't know, but in a perfect world, if I was going to get it bead blasted or whatever, I would put the maker's mark on afterwards. So because you can't go in and it's got a lasered maker's mark on it right now, but you wouldn't want to go in and laser it again because it would make it look doubled up, and you start putting, heat on the blade and things like that. So hindsight being 2020, this was kind of an experiment. I would have you can see the maker's mark there. But yes, I wish it was more prominent. But again, I wanted to see what one looked like with a washed blade. And I really like it. I wish my camera would quit autofocusing. But the other thing that I'm going to be it is by a company called Bade Custom Designs. And Tuya makes this little knife. It is a very small chode of a knife, but it's got ergonomics that make it carry much bigger or handle much larger. So I'm going to say it's closed. It's 3.5 inches closed. But when you open it, because I put it up next to my bug out, you'll notice that you've got, this is your grip right here. So I can get a full 4 and more on this knife. And it's got a now you don't have a lot of cutting area, but you've got a very deep hollow grind on that center section and a very sharp, little bit broader Tonto tip. It's a frame lock with a flipper tab, M390, and thumb studs. And at the grip, my hand's 3.5 inches across. From right here, the back of the knife, to right here is 4 inches. So that's 4 inches to hold a tiny little chode of a knife. To me, it's more kind of whimsical, but it's very functional, especially if you're cutting packaging open, if you're a cardboard warrior, if you need something small for work. It's kind of like a utility knife. I'm impressed with this. It cuts very well, carries well, and the action on it, for a small knife, it's very snappy. The thumb studs, and I'm not a thumb stud guy. I'm a reverse finger flick guy, but the thumb studs work very well. The reverse finger flick is money. And it's just a different looking little knife. I like its individuality. OEM by Tuya, but it's a Bade Modern Designs design. It's called the Titan, which I guess is kind of ironic because it's so tiny. Cheeto! Where's Cheeto? Cheeto Bandito. Good to see you, brother. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Most impressive on the table, and I've got a couple of Christmas fixed blades. This one's kind of surprising to me because, well, not surprising. Everything that I got Christmassy from Kaiser is very unmistakably Christmas symbolism. So you see Santa, you see Merry Christmas on the hair. You see packages, red and white on the drop bear, little Christmas tree. You see ornaments and holly and icicles on the sheep's foot, or sheep's foot. And then you got this one, which is the beaver. And you've got a sheet that's got snowflakes on it. You got a little hat down there, a little blue hat that's kind of like a Santa hat. I guess I got a couple gold records, which are the hardware. I guess those are purple and pink Christmas lights. This one just doesn't strike me as festive. All the other ones and the ones that I didn't get, because they came out with a lot of folders and stuff like that. Oh, be shady. I'm just reading. I get. Is that the is that the USA made? Am I thinking about something different? Is that the knife that Knife Dope got that he was so disappointed with that he waited so long for, and everybody loved the Chinese because they did a production run in between that? Is that the knife? I wish I knew more about that. I wish I'd done a little research to see how. I think he was going to try to send it back to DLT. Oh, you're talking about the Hail Marys. Yeah, dude, just great, great knives. I've only got my 3 chickadees, and I've got to eventually get a Hail Mary, or 3. I love that knife. I love just watching your collection. You got some nice ones, and Jacob's such a cool guy. I'd love to have him on. I think he just gets busy, and I don't think he needs to be on, Friday Night Flicks talking to people about knives, because he's pretty popular in the knives that he's got and what he's able to move out. This is a knife that I did not think I was going to like because it's the Kaiser Tyros. It's one of their Bladesmith series that they released in December, and it's only got a one-side thumb stud. And it was on, of course, the right side, but it had a T8, I think, or T6. And I was able to take out the thumb stud and flip it around because the body is a mirror image. It's totally ambidextrous. I don't even know if Kaiser knows that. I did it on my unboxing. I went ahead and flipped the stud because now it's a reverse finger flick only. I mean, you can't thumb flick it, but I'm not a thumb flicker guy. They make this in a couple of different variations with either a clip point or this spear point that looks kind of like the drop bear. This is an Azo design, internal Kaiser design also. This one's got desert ironwood inserts, but they've got some with carbon fiber. And then the clip point blade looks a lot more aggressive, I think, but it's got their clutch lock. And when you see that it's only got one thumb stud, and you're like, man, I'm a reverse finger flicker, you've got the same amount of clearance on either side, and it just takes a T6 or T8 to take that stud out and switch it to the other side. Very tall, flat ground, S45, just a basic tool of a knife. It looks like you're going to have a really big blade the way it sticks out, but you don't. It's just kind of like a spear point. Very similar to, in my opinion, the drop bear, kind of what it reminds me of. But the handle's comfortable. It's titanium. And again, this one's ironwood. A lot of them are fat carbon. Yes. Touchdown. And then I've got a mossy oak, something I showed y'all last week. I haven't done a review on this. This was sent to me by Mossy Oak to check out. It's their multi-tool, which, guys, I think it's like $20. And I can't hate it because it's that much money. It's got a removable, just like the Leatherman, where you can take out the little wire cutter if you want to redo it. It's got liner locks on both the saw and the blade, which are kind of one hand opening things. I'm not crazy about the color. It's got a couple of other tools. I'm not crazy about the bit driver because the bits are real small. But for just a set of pliers and a multi-tool for under $30, it's kind of hard to hate it. A little bit heavy. It does come with a thing to mount it on your pack or your bug out bag. But the pliers work well. That's really all I've tested on it. The bits are smaller, like where 1/4-inch bits are what we normally use. You get this little bit pack with these double-sided bits, and there's a little place on the mossy oak where these go into, but I'm not a big fan of these bits. But it's a inexpensive tool. It's also got, which I think is kind of cheesy, but it might save my life one day, so I can't give it too much of a hard time. It's this little rescue whistle / ferro rod. And I can't imagine starting a fire with that ferro rod. I guess it would be better than wet paper towels. And it probably does strike. But yeah, mossy oak, don't know much about them. They've sent me a couple of machetes before. Magnamax. Creeley Blades is in the house. I was just getting ready to show the minnow. Guys, I've got to show you this knife. And then I'm going to show you the Mako. That's the other one I experienced. Let me just go to my... This is Greg Datcher, the guy who was on Knives and More, or on our little Friday Night Flicks after Halloween. But this right here is the first time I've ever seen a Creeley Blades knife. And this little guy has the most comfortable handle. It's the same size as my Chickadee, but it's got more holdable handle. And it's in Magnamax. And the young guy that owns it drives back and forth. He works all week in Huntsville, and then he goes back to his hometown. It's about a 4-hour drive for the weekends. And he was on his way back, and he hadn't tested the steel a lot, but it's just gorgeous. And the Mako, we're going to go to Creeley's site real quick. And I'm going to drop it in the chat for y'all to follow, because I love to find new, small fixed blade makers. And you know me, I'm out of the loop. But now I'm not. Beautiful, beautiful knives. Here's a Mako, I believe. Or is that a minnow? That's a minnow. Little guy. The Mako, I did a short video on, but I did not do a Instagram post because he brought it out of his car right before he got in to leave. We'll go to the website and I'll show it to you. But the minnow is the one that all my small fixie guys, this is going to be my next grab for shiz. I'm going to copy it and share it. And I'm going to find that knife because we're going to go to the website. That's where I saw it when I posted on, hold on one second. I'll keep looking while I go. I'll drop the website and we'll stop sharing this. I'm going to share this real quick. Share screen. Uh-oh. Are y'all still looking at the homepage? Okay. I'm going to drop the homepage right here. They feel that the handle is so flipping comfortable for and he doesn't just make small knives. Don't get it wrong. But a lot of good reviews. I haven't watched these yet because, again, I just learned about them last night. That looks like the Mako. Really, really cool stuff. Let me go to knives. Hold on. Our blades. Let's go to online store. And again, my internet, you guys know my internet sucks, but here's a minnow, Magna Cut with the pocket, Ulti-Clip, really nice sheaths, and Magna Cut for $204. Here's a Mako. So the Mako is what this gentleman had in his truck This one's $259 and it's N690. It is, I want to say it was about 8 inches long. Let's see, maybe 7. The grinds on these are beautiful. This guy is maybe the size of a Guardian 3, except not as beefy. The very, very slicey grinds. And again, you could go in here and choose your scales. But yeah, I just love the shape of the knives. I love the he uses, like, here's Rex 121. The fact that he jumped on Magnamax to check that out, I think that helps the community as a whole and get some blades out there, helps layering out. But yeah, I'm excited to learn more about them. Very cool fixies. Creely Blades, thanks for stopping in, my man. They're I'm gonna go back to the gram and show you just some Creely goodness. Whoops. I pushed the wrong share button. I swear I think I'm getting blinder or more blind. I'm getting more blind. I'm less sight worthy. But look at that sexy setup. Magnamax. Blue liner, G10 handles. Blade show. It's just that little bulb feels so good. I call it a bulb. It's not really a bulb. That's the kind of sheath the guy had that stopped by and visited me at Knives and More. He had a little taco sheath like that. And those scales are just chef's kiss. Very, very comfortable. Great little knife. And again, I think I compared it to my Chickadee, and it was 5 inches. I'm thinking it's 5 inches. Let's see where this is. Knife Center. Did that take y'all with me? Nope. Yep, it did. Do this. All right, they don't have them in stock. I was just going to try to get the size of the minnow. And Creely, if you're still in here, is the minnow 5 inches, 7 inches? Or the Mako 7 inches, I'm guessing. What is up, Lakeside? Sierra Rick, what is up, brother? Good to see you guys that I didn't see while I was on the backside squeaking around. More handle and less blade. And that's what I love about the minnow, which I think you're talking about the Mako, is the minnow maximizes that grip. Where my Chickadee, I love it so much I've got 3, but it's more of a 3-finger knife, where the Mako for me was an easy 4-finger knife. And I don't mind having a little bit less blade, because for me, I'm cutting cat food, I'm cutting paracord, and I'm opening Amazon packages. I'm not doing any hardcore work, but I bet I could start a fire with that little minnow. I know I could cut wood with it and get a good little bird nest going. But yeah, I was really glad to find them, and I think y'all should check them out. Those of you, especially that are little fixed blade lovers like me. But back to Instagram, I was going to show you Greg's, because we looked at this when he was on the live stream, and I know this was the week after Halloween, so a lot of you guys probably weren't there. He joined, and again, he teaches pottery. He's a multifaceted artist. He works with all kinds of materials. He's also a knife maker, and he studied under some really impressive knife makers. So this is a Baker Forge copper my Damascus called a sawback Bowie, I guess because of the way he cuts this sawback into it. But you've got this beautiful, I think that's a copper finger guard, and then you've got titanium, more copper, desert ironwood. And the sheath for this, I don't have a picture of it. The sheath is a leather sheath. I think this blade's 12 inches. So the sheath's probably 13 inches with cobra skin inlaid. And then the cobra's head is right up at the top, looking back down the blade. So, I mean, it is unbelievable. This is one of his little small EDC knives wrapped in paracord, a blacked out blade, and that's the sheath it comes with, which is just a little leather sheath, which will hold a fire starter, and it's got some snake skin in it, some cobra skin. And the other one I took a picture of is this one because I love the handle. This is called the HT Hunter, and that's a twist Damascus, which is 1095 and 15N20. And that wood, or the material for the handle, is amboina. And I don't know if amboina is a wood, but to me, it's just stunning. And the sheath, when you look at it from the side, it's got stacked leather to make up for the handle. They fit great. It's just next level stuff that that brother Greg Datcher is able to do. And there is my buddy's minnow. I bet you they're running at a good Rockwell. I haven't gotten into my comments. I'm not going to do it in front of you guys. And this is an interesting knife. I didn't know anything about it, but if y'all have heard about traditional knives, Pumas are pretty well sought after out of Germany. They used to make knives, and that's a Puma. We get those in from time to time. I'm trying to learn about slip joints, cases. It's painful. There's too much really to learn, and I've got to get passionate about it. I do like this Cheetah, which is kind of an interesting lockback. But I'm just a modern knife guy. Granted, traditional knives are cool, but for me, modern knives are where it's at. This is a vintage knife that's never been used, a Sea Hunter, which is by that same company. It's German. That's a bizarre knife. But yeah, cool stuff down there at Knives and More. That's a super old Microtech. Y'all call those guys if y'all are ever looking for something weird. Right now, talking about weird, they've got a 940 that was a Smoky Mountain Knife Works exclusive. It's got a green or an FDR 5 1/4 for the minnow. Thank you. Perfect size. Perfect size. But the minnow is so sweet. The Mako is a sweet little knife. They're just, again, when you put it in your hand, something about the handle just, to me, felt very organic. And the guy who brought it in to show it to me, he goes, well, you've got to check out this Mako. And he had to dig through his car because he's driving back to home. He had it packed up like under his luggage. And he, okay, so that Semboya or whatever I called it is a wood. Guys, it's beautiful. I mean, he hand finishes all this stuff. He is, let me pull him up, share a little bit with you, share him with you guys real quick. This is Greg Datcher, the local gentleman who's just an artist through and through, but who makes knives. These are some collaborations that I tagged him in, but this is the Cobra. That's the sheath on that big knife. He makes those sheaths by hand too, by the way. Why'd it go stop? Why'd it go stop? Uh-oh. Ruh-roh, Reggie. I might get kicked out, but I'll be back if I get kicked out. Boom. That was quick. I knew it was going to try to haze me, but I'm not going to give up that easy. I'm going to show y'all this snake head. So that is an actual cobra. You can see it's kind of thick neck under the. And that's where that big knife that I took a picture of lives. And that thing is cheap. I mean, his knives are too inexpensive for what they are. I will tell you that right now. They are extremely. Look at that handle. Again, are they my jam? The EDW is. And I just appreciate them so much because he makes. He's a great potter. Makes stage equipment, arts. I mean, anything artistic, this guy can get it done. And he's just a super, super guy. But he makes beautiful, beautiful knives that are very functional. Most of his orders are custom, but he does have a lot of knives that John down at Knives and More always carries his stuff. But I mean, he definitely goes out on the art side of it. And I appreciate that. I'm going to drop Greg in here for y'all if y'all ever want to check it out. Again, he was with us on Friday Night Flicks, and he'll come back. He said he would. He's a good guy, very good guy. Good question from Brother K. Mason, another little fixie guy. I think it's so cool that was the first Magnamax I've ever seen in the wild, was that little minnow. So I know he uses, I've seen MagnaCut, I've seen N690, but I'd be interested to know if he's still in here, what he uses, what he likes to carry. Because you'll be surprised, like I told you guys last week, or one of the things I wanted to talk about is most of the people that I bump into that are actually coming in buying knives every day, they are not super steel people. They don't see the great advantage of having a long edge. They sharpen their little knives on their stones and they go on. It's kind of a weird dynamic. 1095 is very popular down there. And I know they're better steels, but if it's not, who am I to say? Who am I to say? Yeah, I bet Brother Creeley bailed out. It is Friday night. We just hanging here. I hang in here for you guys to bounce in and out. I don't know who else is live tonight. I'm sure a bunch of people are. I missed something. Hold on a second. Like Echo became a channel member. I see it on my YouTube side. I don't see it on StreamYard, but I'm going to give a hug to Echo 10, EDC KO 10. It looks like he became a member. I appreciate you, man. We usually have live streams every Saturday at 2:30. This week, the member stream has been moved to Sunday at 4. But all you have to do is stick your head in and get on the list, buddy. It's a fun little thank you weekly live stream that I do for members every Saturday, typically at 2:30. But I'm working this Saturday and maybe a few more up until Christmas. So I will probably do them Sunday for the next couple of weeks. We'll see. Hopefully that won't impact too many people. But we have a real small group. Odds are always really good. We get about 16, 17 people in there and just have a good time. K. Mason, it's good to see you, brother. K. Mason is a fellow fixie brother from another mother. I've got other fixies. One I picked up It is a budget knife. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. I haven't reviewed it. I've unboxed it. This is a Concept Flank. Very thin in the handle. Very nice size. D2, inexpensive. I just got to get out and cut with it and see how the edge holds up. It's very sharp. It's got a nice edge geometry, but I wonder if the handle, when I go to cut a lot of cardboard, how it's going to feel just because it is pretty thin. I'm guessing it's probably somewhere around under half an inch. But this is the Concept Flank. It's a cool little knife that I will be reviewing. It'll come up sometime next week. The sheath I'm going to work on because it just doesn't have the greatest retention of sheaths that I've used. Now, it came with a tech lock mounted to the back of it, which was probably pulling it tighter. I put this little ulti-clip with just one screw, so it doesn't have, I could probably throw a screw in here to tighten it up. But I'm going to review this little guy. Pretty cool knife. And then I've not done a review on this one here. The Joey Roman Crispy. Joey makes great knives. I love his knives. I've got one of his little micro Tantos chisel grind. It's just a beautiful little knife. This knife was sent to me from a company called Throw Knives, THRW knife. And I said, sure, I'll look at it. And it came in and I've been impressed with it. It's a $15 on sale, $19 when it's not on sale. Amazon knife, little G10 handle, super thin, slicey, almost kitchen knife blade. I think it's looks like 420C. I mean, so it's nothing special, but it is super sharp, super light. And I would think for a camp food knife, little prep knife, when you're down there at 15 to 19 bucks, I can give a lot of grace to a company, but the scales fit nicely. It doesn't look like somebody's design. I'm sure there's a kitchen knife, a paring knife that looks just like this. I'm just not aware of it. But it's a cool little knife. And then we'll get into one more knife. This is a Driver Defense, Dustin Driver, little Magna Cut Ricochet with some beautiful hand jimping. He does everything by hand. He does his own heat treats. This one's G10, blue G10 liner. It's a little guy. It might go in here. It might be one to put it in there. Kind of like my Guardian, my Rex 45 Guardian fits in there pretty nicely. But that's what's cool about these little knife ship free sheaths. I don't know what made them have those sheaths made. When you read the description, it's like, so you can carry a flashlight or a pen. But to me, that pocket's too big for a flashlight or a pen. I mean, it'd be great for a slip joint if you wanted to carry like a fixed blade and a slip joint. But for me, I just like to carry a couple of fixies in my back pocket or my coat pocket. So what did all you cats carry today? Did people carry, did everybody get out? Man hug, Echo. I thought you got it, my friend. You must have stepped away. I was thanking you and telling you when the, thank you for being a member. And every Saturday at 2:30 is usually our member lives, but this week it's going to be at 4 o'clock on Sunday. But yes, you've absolutely got another man hug coming your way. Here it is. I appreciate you, buddy. And the lives that I have on Saturdays, this week it'll be Sunday, are just thank you lives. So you don't have to be there. You don't have to be present to win. It's just to come in and leave the secret word, say hey to a few people, and go on with your day. But this is a great little knife, kind of a harder use knife, but very sharp. I haven't sharpened it. That's Dustin's edge. He puts all those on by hand after he makes them, which is kind of rare for a knife maker. The ones I know. A lot of them put their edges on by hand. A lot of them use belts, because I would use a belt if I knew how to. Lakeside, what is up? Crispy cut his steak at Texas Roadhouse this evening with his GEC Bullbuster. 40th anniversary dinner. Congratulations, brother. That is awesome. Happy anniversary, my friend. That is awesome. Very, very good. Very, very good. Yeah, that Bullbuster will cut a steak. The only thing that makes me nervous is I thought about using my pocket knife for steaks, but I'm always worried about dulling them on the plate, which I shouldn't be. I shouldn't be. Crispy, you spread around blessings, buddy. You spread the love, so you definitely deserve the love. And I'm glad you've got such a good 40-year thing going. I made it 20. And that was I felt like it was a testament of my fortitude. Then I got sober and just realized what a horrible mistake I'd made, but that happens. Bluminati's back in the house. Yeah, guys, I try to on Fridays. I thought about moving it up, but I don't get off until 6, and I have to run around up past my dad. So I'm trying to go live as close to 8 o'clock as possible, because said faction's on. This is kind of like a warm up for said faction. That's the best live on Friday nights. That's at, I think, 11:15. That's Maddie and said Stevie. They're hilarious. So I'm going to try to start going at about 8 o'clock. You were 8 years old when Crispy got married. I was 18. I was 18 years old, youngster. Come to think of it, I was living my best life when I was 18. I'll just tell you. That's exactly right. And Crispy will probably be the first to say communication is key. But if you're dating her, communication is natural. If communication is not natural, that's not uncommon. You just need to focus on making communication a priority. I think as we age, we change. And I think it's important if you're going to be in a partnership, which I've kind of sworn those off, just for the not so distant future. Because I know I'm not really set up mentally, or I can't do a YouTube channel if I'd been married. Like if I was still married, I would have never gotten into the knife game. It just wouldn't have happened. She just wouldn't have understood it. She would have fought it. She wouldn't have been a supporter, which is fine. I can understand it. I probably wouldn't support her if she went out and started buying a bunch of weird stuff, but I'd like to think I would. What's up, Space Ghost, Brother West? Good to see you, man. Channel member. The weekly live this week is going to be Sunday at 4 o'clock, my brother. I've got to work tomorrow, so I just changed it. I'll send out another thing in the morning, kind of as a reminder. But yeah, we're going to have it. It is definitely cold. And I'll tell y'all something else. I forgot to call my landlord today. My heat went out 2 days ago. I've got little space heaters, and I try not to use my big heat, but when I turned it on, I was screwed. Sharpening for me is therapeutic. I don't hand sharpen. I wish I could. And I'm sure if I got a stone and practiced, but I use my my fixed angle system. But I really do enjoy working a knife when it needs to be worked. I like it. And the place where I work, Knives and More, they've got they do knife sharpening as a service. So they do scissors. They've got a scissor sharpener. They've got, yeah, Lakeside. Mine would too. My ex would have hated. It wasn't her fault. I think it was just the way she was wired. She was not a supporter. She was kind of a needer, which is understandable. And she wouldn't have understood it at all. Because YouTube, for me, I'm not making money on YouTube. I don't make money on ads. A little bit. I mean, I get a little bit each month, but I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it because I enjoy it, and it's my social life. It's become kind of the place I like to go hang out. If it was a normal hobby, the way my ADHD works, looking back to when I was 16, I would stay hard in a hobby for 2 to 4 years, and then I'd bounce and find something else because I just lose total interest in it. But the knife hobby's been different because of the people. You hear the saying, I came for the knives, stayed for the people. Well, there's a lot of truth to that because Blade Show, I can't stress that enough. Even if you just go and like if it's a family, if you take your wife, there's so much to do in Atlanta. If y'all did like Blade Show on Saturday or Friday and then did what she wanted to do, it could be a nice vacation, short little vacation if you're in the Southeast. But meeting a lot of the people that I've seen in chats for when I went to my first Blade Show, it'd been a couple of years, I think, before I ever went to Blade Show. I felt like I knew these people, and then I met them in person, and I felt like that feeling didn't change. It wasn't like I met them and thought, oh, that's not who I thought it would be. That is an awesome carry. The Asher Little Buddy Warnie. I've got an Asher Little Buddy Fixie, but not a Warnie. The Warnie's a win. Guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I've got to let a cat in, and I do apologize. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, it's chilly. And I'm in North Alabama, so I'm sure some of y'all are super cold, depending on where you are. Makes my nose run, I get so cold. Wife and I are both Taurus May. You bullshit. Playing the same barnyard, but it works. It does work, dude. Because I do believe everybody's got their soulmate. You know, I think a lot of times we miss them. It is better if you have, I think it's better to be around 2.5 grams a day, personally. And even that can be a little hairy because who carries a scale at Blade Show, right? Mushrooms make it all better. You know, mushrooms are an interesting organism. All mushrooms, not just the magic ones. You know, mushrooms breathe out carbon dioxide and breathe in oxygen like people do. They are very odd. They are very, very odd, and they will make shit purple, and they will make shower curtains wave on their own, which is kind of cool. But back in the old days, I did also have, because I went to school at a cow college. They call it the cow college, Auburn, Alabama, Auburn University, War Eagle. And we were around a lot of naturally occurring fungus. And we were young and we were dumb, and we enjoyed making tea, which would consist of just dumping a fuck ton of these big gooey caps in boiling water, boiling them down until the water kind of got black. And then we'd pour it in grape Kool-Aid, and then we just drink solo cups of it, right, with our whiskey chasers. And shit would get out of hand. It would definitely get weird. Hey, Shane, I had some great sitters. You and Ryan kept me pointing in the right direction. I felt safe. I knew y'all weren't going to leave me with one of those anti-little white guy Uber drivers that we got stuck with. Shane, I want you to see something. I'm picking up the blue one tomorrow, but you will not believe the scales on the blue one. I did learn one thing today. You can see the maker's mark through this. What do you call this? A blast? But he can't put a maker's mark on top of it. It's not good for it to have one, then another one, getting them lined up. So what he just suggested is on the ones that, if and when we decide to blast one, just maker's mark them afterwards. But I absolutely love this blade. And I'm going to do a video probably over the weekend, because like I say, I've got this one and I've got another one. And they're liking it up there. They're usually really picky about stuff, but this is a unique knife. Until you get it in your hand, it's just, and maybe it's just me because I'm a little bit biased, but this is a slicey bitch. And then I've got another sheath for the one coming home with me. This is the Tactical Terry 1931 Leatherworks fret sheath, pocket dropper. Is Satisfaction in here yet? That whiny bitch. I sent out his prick today. I meant to do it yesterday and I forgot, and I was like, God. And then I thought, well, the universe provides it. Dude, that's all Tate. And he's a willing participant. He's a good kid. I hooked him up with a sweet blade for him jumping on those for us, and I think he's going to be if we need it, a good helper. Dude, yeah, we'll talk about it. I called you this afternoon. Yeah, Shane's group hello, and looks like he's riding, and he's probably got his boot on, so we don't want him trying to multitask. If you happen to get home and you get bored, jump on, brother. If not, I totally get it. I wonder if Ron Ellis is still in here. I wonder how that homeboy's doing. 5 Door. I don't know if I said hey to you yet, channel member. Good to see you, brother. Always good to see you. So I thought we'd do a couple of quick things while y'all talk amongst yourselves. I was going to, because I haven't done it this week, I'm going to jump over to River's Edge Cutlery and see what's coming in. Because I'm sure there are going to be knives that I'm not at all aware of. They've changed their website, it looks like. Microtech LUT. That's not a bad knife. We've got several of those down there. I actually sold one today to a guy. It's underwater. These knives have looked interesting to me. What do y'all think of these? What's the word on the street on the auxiliary manufacturing? I've seen these fixed blades, but this little folder. I've been seeing a lot of it on Instagram. I can't really tell the size of it. And I'm not sure if I know that much about auxiliary manufacturing. Let's see what it says. Let's see if they made this or if it's China. I think it's China. Yeah, China. Confitanto partnership. Who's the China most respected? One of China's most respected OEM manufacturers. Oh, you're playing that game, the we're not going to tell you game. So I'm supposed to guess Riot. Anyway, buy a TRM instead. It'll save you money. It's USA made. It's done well. You get one that looks like a brook trout. And the great thing about TRMs is you just take off that one little screw and the one little screw here and the clips, and you can swap out scales without having to worry about taking that pivot off. So you can operate these knives with no scales whatsoever. It's good to see them getting out and get their production up, because TRMs you used to could never find in stock. One thing I just saw cool, I'm going to go down to, I don't know how I got down to the bottom here, but I'm going to go with it. Because this Gentry Custom, I always see these on Instagram. This is somebody I follow. I love his designs. I love the way his knives look. They're little pocket droppers. I think he's in Arkansas. I could be wrong. But just a beautiful little knife. Yes, they're expensive. But he is one of those kind of boutique handmade builders. And these are probably an all truths, more his budgeter line. Maybe he did them special for River's Edge Cutlery and did some special colors, combinations. But Magna Cut, G10, I just think it's a sexy little knife. Most people don't like knives like that. I used to not be a a fixed blade guy at all. Some Hellbenders. What do we got? I'm not going to spend too much time here. I'm just going to go to 2 pages. If anybody's interested in a Microtech Zero blade play, there are still some Gen 3 Ultratechs out there. I know we've got a Hellhound and a couple of others, but once the Gen 3 Ultratechs are gone, the Gen 4s are not going to have Zero blade play anymore. Microtech had to pull that from their line. There's no more Zero blade play. So the Gen 3s that are out there are the ones that are Zero blade play. And it will probably not be coming back until Gavin's patent runs out. Let's go Microtech ZBP. So you can still find them in stock. There's a drop point. Any of the Gen 3s are going to be the ZPB. Make sure they've got that on there. So you can still find them, but the Gen 4s are coming out. That's the one I got right there. And it really is an impressive knife. But just some Microtech news there. They won't be back with Zero blade play. They won't be back. Because I think they done lost. Good to see you, Ryan Ellis. All right, let's do something real quick. We're going to go to coming soon. And just see if there's anything that blows our skirt up. Jacob creates Vanguard Mary. That is a dream knife. That'll be dropping in CTS XHP. What a good looking little blade. He makes these in drop points, warnies, and just this is the new Jack Wolf, Melissa Backwoods. I'm not feeling that one as much. It's a cool looking little knife. I guess a clip point. It just doesn't look. I've liked his other designs better. But that is a collaboration between, I think it's Melissa Backwoods and him. Yeah, Melissa Backwoods. Interesting little knife that'll be dropping soon. Got some Spyderco's dropping soon. Got a Manta. Not interested in that. Got a Bodacious Sprint Run in S90V. Any of you that like the Bodacious, there's going to be one coming out in S90V. If you've got the S30V and you're a steel snob, there's one for you. And we will wrap this up because we're going to jump over to DLT real quick because they carry other shit. A lot of Spyderco's. I saw that Civivi's getting ready to drop a fork and spoon EDC. Word to your mama. So is everybody all right in here? Is everybody still getting along? Yeah, Ryan's keeping house. Sweet. Ryan, dude, I wish there was some way I could help you, brother. I know it's just a pain in the ass. You probably feel trapped, but this too will pass, my friend. You'll come out on top. So DLT, another place I really like. Their 12 days of Christmas are pretty cool. I mean, you can go in here and they'll have like a drop each day. Kind of something unique. When it gets closer to Christmas, you'll see some stuff. Look at that. Coming soon, 159. The best value in a USA made slip joint, in my opinion, is this American Blade Works titanium MagnaCut handmade little slip joint. It is just gorgeous. So DLC is going to be, or DLT is going to be getting some of those bad boys. And they will drop and be gone. But I check here kind of every day. So see, you've still got a few of these in stock. You still got some Dixons. But when they drop them, so this one drops in tomorrow in 13 hours. I don't know what time that makes it. But they drop, you jump on there. It's pretty easy to grab one if you know you want one. And they'll show you tomorrow when this one drops what the next day is going to be. Kind of different. Kind of interesting. But what I like to do is go to their homepage, and then I go to new arrivals. Some finches. That's Jared D's knife. I think the inmate is one that he designed. Interesting knife. Doesn't really speak to me. I'm not crazy about the handle lines for some reason. I don't know why. Thin knife, what is it, 20 CV? It's a WE. That would make sense. WE has a lot of 20 CV. Let's see what else they've got coming in. Wheeze. That's pretty wild. I would not pay $680 for it. But I'm sure it's very well tuned. It looks mighty fancy. Not my jam. When I see, and again, I'm not trying to sound unreasonable. I just spent $400 in trade on a imported knife, but I'm not going up in the fives. I can't see myself doing that for an imported knife. Only because I've been conditioned on them not supposed to cost that much. So they carry Three Rivers Manufacturing too, which is really great for anybody. And if you see a knife that you want, but you don't like the scales, don't ever let that be a determinant. I used to buy knives that when I used to have to get them on their site, irregardless of the scales, because you can go in and you can buy scales and then sell your scales. I mean, people will buy your scales. You just list them somewhere and you can pick up scales for 40 to 60 to, they'll be over 100, well over 100 if you do titanium. But TRM, chef's kiss. I mean, I would urge any of y'all to get one and find something, unless you don't like a thin, slicey knife. I think they're great. Herman's, chef's kiss, but way out of my price range. This one, for example, right here, if you look at the titanium, look at the displacement in those puzzle pieces, and that's done with a laser or a mill. That is just amazing looking, and they operate so well. Again, out of the realm of anything I could do, but do I think that they are worth what they're asking for them? I'm sure they are, because they are absolutely next level. I've reviewed an Ishtar and a Stinger that my buddy A to Z EDC has. Now, I've not tried a Machine Wise, but I've heard good things about them. That's another USA maker that I guess has come onto the scene that I've not been that privy to. $880. I'd have to feel that and see how it compares to a Lamia before I've heard great things about it. But and just more stuff. We're about to get off of here. Some Gin Anzos, customs, titanium scales. One more page, and then we're going to be done. Just scales. If anybody's looking for scales and microtex. So those are Gen 4s. So when you see a Gen 4 Combat Troden, which the one I have, the Gen 3, is a zero blade play. This one is no more zero blade play. All Gen 4s had to do away with whatever patent was violated. They had to stop with the zero blade play shenanigans. So remember, Gen 3 Ultratex and make sure it has a 0 blade play down there. This is what you used to not see. You used to not see Koenig stay in stock, but these have been in stock now for almost a week. These are mini goblins. This is, I think, I don't know if this was the first or the second knife Koenig produced, but it's gorgeous. Floating backspacer, every bit is nice, I'm sure, as the Arius, but they've got some Koenigs in stock, or however you pronounce them. And then we'll finish up Freeman Outdoors. That's the knife Edgy bought at Blade Show right there. The hard thing about this is to figure out what blade steel they use, though. They're kind of secretive about their blade steel. I don't know where they'd put it on the blade. It's got that vertical grind, CNC grind, which I really don't understand, but it's a really fine knife. So that's in stock. They also do folders. I see them at USA Made Blades, carries them quite a bit. Riot Terminator. See, I'm not paying $620 or $595. I don't care how good it is. I just can't bring myself to do it. And I'm sure that's a fancy knife. Integral. But no, I'm bringing my money. I'm not a player at that price. Not interested. Don't want it. Take it back. I don't want none of those $600 Riots. No, thank you. Chavez. Great knife. The Neon, which is, believe it or not, kind of a budget Shiro. We had the E-Knives edition at Knives and More, and I got to check it out, and it is a beautiful, thin little L-Max knife. Is it worth $772? I think it is. I think these knives, even though they're not my design jam, they're absolutely tuned and engineered to where I think they're just great. It would definitely be a down the road grail, hopefully. All right, we've wrapped it up. Microtex again. Hinderers in stock. Again, something you used to not see. So Eclipse spear points. What else we got? Some NAFs. I mean, DLT and REC are great online retailers for me. They always had cool stuff. And another place, not to go there, but where I find new knives too, is I'll go down here and I'll look at the restocks. And on the first page, sometimes you'll see things that are like a large Nkosi that wouldn't be on the new. You'll find some things that are kind of desirable, and some that aren't, right? But nothing too fancy. Kershaw's. But yeah, you think about it, the stuff that's restocked is stuff that's sold out. So sometimes you'll find a good little win in there. What's with that? See, I'm not feeling that design either. Is that so he's collabing on, that must be a locking knife. Yeah, not feeling. All right, we're going to stop sharing. I'm coming back to the chat. What did I miss? What did I miss? What did I miss? Oh, yeah, way too rich for me. M390 Magnum Max. Yeah, I've learned, guys, it's not just us. I see people every day. I used to say when they'd walk in, because I try to be a cheese ball, what can I help you find to cut today? What are you trying to cut? What'd you come in to get a tool to cut with? And they look at me like I'm crazy. A, because I am, but because most of them aren't going to cut anything. They're going to put it in a box. Case collectors are wacky. I mean, wacky. Now, I've got a new appreciation for case. I'm trying to learn about them. I think there's something definitely special about them. Hey, buddy. Puck is on the table. There's a puck foot. Shit could get real at any time. All right. That Pakistani Damascus. Let me show you some non-Pakistani Damascus. I want Shane to see this. Let me go to my Insta. And let me share this picture of Greg Datcher, who Shane met the other night. He finished this knife, Shane, and John bought it. Along with like 6 others. That knife right there has a 12-inch blade, a desert ironwood handle. It's got Baker Forge Kumai with the desert ironwood handle. And the knife looks fancy, but the sheath is sick. That's the sheath for that knife. That's a cobra head and its skin. Amazing work. I mean, look at the handles. And he's got one on here that's Star Damascus that we bought. I didn't take a picture of it, but I'm sure he did. Surely he did. This is it. I think this is Star Damascus when you look at this pattern. That's not it. Damn it. Maybe this is it. Look at that finger guard. Let's see if this is the Star Damascus. Nope. That's another. All right. Is this it? I thought it was bigger than that. That's Python on that sheath. He's a very interesting guy, very fun to talk to, and just very good at what he does. Super humble. I don't see that. That star looks like explosions. It almost has a marijuana leaf look to it, like a whole bunch of them. And look at that. And again, his knives, for example, this is expensive, but you got to consider what it is. The retail on this knife right here, this 12-inch with the sheath, with the desert ironwood handle, just like you see it there, is $1,500. His smaller knives, like this one, let's look at this one. He built this for him, but his smaller knives are under 400, and they're beautiful. So y'all check out Greg Datcher. Gregory's the man. And to me, they're art pieces. Yes, they work great as knives, but they are something else. And then this little knife that Shane let me borrow, I'm in love with it. This again is the tried and true by Scuba Steve and Alex Steingraber, SPK, K390. Probably the sharpest knife in my house. Just gorgeous. If I was going to ever have someone besides Shane make my knife, it would be Alex. So that CNC cut the blank, got everything to where Steve could do what he does, is put the grind on it and the finishing touches. Richard, I bet you're going to have the best mail day ever when you come back. Terry, it's nice. It really is. I mean, it's just a cutter, a slicer, not a prior. Yeah, Kyle made it next level sharp. It really didn't come as sharp as you would think because it was so thin. But it's just a fine piece of toolage. And again, I hate to taunt overseas knives, but this little mini Hurricane and M390 is a slicey. A slicey beast. Maverick Customs, I think, provided the design. I think these are 119 with carbon fiber and M390, or about 60 in 3V and Ultima or Micarta. And let's look real quick. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they also make this in S45. Oh. Let me check something real quick. Kaiser Mini Harpoon M390. Boom. All right. Let's just share this with you real quick. Yep. So there's S45 for 134, and the S45 is fat carbon, and then the M390 carbon fiber is 119. Whoops. And it's satin. It doesn't have that protective coating like the S45 does in the fat carbon. There's the Maverick Customs dude. But what a great little small EDC knife. I think it's just a great little design. Hardness 5960 on M390. I don't know if that's considered. Oh, that's S45. I don't know what that would be considered. Shane might know what the ideal S45, or I can ask AI. Let's see what the M390 is. $59.60. So that's just the numbers they threw in the chart. %3 minimum. I'm at a point where if the steel doesn't contain vanadium, I'm out. Is the vanadium what makes it hard, dude? So you got your chromium that keeps it from rusting, and is the vanadium what makes it hold an edge? Or is that, I know there's so many other, I'll have to get my Larry Thomas book out. 3% minimum vanadium. I would ask AI, but that would turn so many people off. AI's gotten smart, guys. If you ask it good questions, it'll spit out the facts. Now, nothing's, I don't think that just objective because there's so many variables that can go into it. And I'm pleased that AI gives you that, but nothing's an exact science. Vanadium provides abrasion resistance and edge retention. Gotcha. So like MagnaCut, roughly what percentage vanadium is in there? I mean, is it usually under 10% or can it be as much as 20, 30? You know, one thing that I really found cool about the Benchmade Dacian, it's got a fatal flaw in the sheath that it only allows you to carry it scout. So I'm out. But the way that they made the sheath is ingenious, where the very top around the throat of the knife is Kydex that's then riveted into the leather. So the blade is always swaddled in the leather, but your retention comes from the throat of the knife where it locks into the Kydex. It's pretty cool, except they just said you can carry it scout or not carry it at all. So I guess you could drop it in your pocket if you want it just to be naked. Let's go Benchmade. Dacian. Let me show y'all a cool sheath that you've probably seen. I love this knife. I brought it home. I reviewed it, overviewed it, whatever you want to call it, and found it to be very, very cool. It's got jimping all the way up the spine. Jesus. Let's go. Dacian. God dang it. I can't spell to save my ass. All right. I want a. It'll be one of their newer ones because they just dropped a couple new finishes. And Benchmade's having another price increase. I don't know exactly how much, but giddy up. Here we go. So this sheath is pretty revolutionary. I would like to see other people incorporate something similar? Because I've never seen it done like this. I've seen Kydex inside of leather. Oops. Will it not make it bigger? Give me I want to find a bigger picture of the sheath. All right. See right here? I don't know how well y'all can see that, but you've got 3 rivets that hold, let me find a different color, that hold the Kydex, and then the bottom is all I popped myself out. My bad. I meant to go backspace right here. And I wanted to pull up a tan sheath, which is going to be, come on. This one right here. All right. So this will give you a good idea of how the top part of the sheath is Kydex, and the entire part that holds the blade is leather. You don't have any Kydex touching the blade. Whoops. It's thin. Feels really good. So it's not going to give us a great picture, but you've got these 3 rivets. Right here is where the Kydex stops. The Kydex stops above that horizontal strap. And then the entire bottom of the sheath is just leather. So I don't know why they don't show that picture like they did of the other ones. That kind of sucks. This one's got a tan sheath too, this blue bladed one. I don't know what the treatment is on the blue blade. Probably just Cerakote. Where is it? God damn it. Excuse me for saying GD. I didn't mean it. It just slipped out that way. So I like this. I think this is probably, as far as Benchmades go, this may be my favorite Benchmade knife. It's got that 14 degree select edge, which doesn't mean really anything except it's pretty sharp. This is a black sheath, so it's not going to be helpful. Never mind, we're out of here. Screw Benchmade. But that is a cool fixed blade. It really is. Maddie, good to see you, brother. Your prick is on its way, my friend. It left today. Brashear Bear, what is up? Robin, what is up? Welcome, welcome. Good to see you guys, gals, everybody. Good to see you, Maddie. What time does Maddie go live tonight? I always have to be on my toes. I think after we hit 3 hours, we're good. Let's see. Said. Sean. Here. Oh. Yep. Whose channel's it on? Whose channel's it on? I believe it's going to be on Stevie's. Let's see. Nope. It is on Maddie's channel. At 76 minutes. So we got 76 minutes. 1931. Javon, can you pull up the 1931 Instagram picture? Absolutely. Which one? Was it on 1931? Give me a was it a slip joint? Was it a fixie? I don't know why the sheath. Oh, I've got it. All right, let me check. Let me check. Let me check. Let me check, and I'll share it. Messages. The Quachetti? Are we looking at the Quachetti? The Quachetti? Quack, quack, quack. Here it is. Hopefully it'll show. I'm sharing it right. Let's see. I wish I could make it bigger. That looks gorgeous. That's a great knife, and that sheath just looks awesome. Is that the one we wanted to see, or did I miss another one? Is that the 1831 or the 1931 Lakeland? Is there another one I need to show? Talk to me, brother. We can find, let's go to 1931 Leatherworks to see what's cooking. If you're not following 1931, I'm going to drop it here in the chat. Y'all can go if you want to. Okay. Okay. Let's go over here. And I mean, the Orlock. What a knife. That's Terry's design. And then you've got this beautiful, beautiful. That's a Guardian 3 drop point sheath. Look at that. Pocket dropper. Look at that. Terry, you're doing so good, man. It's amazing watching like you and Shane just up your game with every build. There's the Orlock. Probably one of the best knives Kaiser's put out this year, in my opinion. One of the few they didn't send me, and some bitches, because it was in such high demand. That's just a gorgeous knife. And then the leather work is outstanding. Look at that knife. If y'all can grab an Orlock, I reviewed the prototype and the finished version thanks to Ryan Ellis. He sent me his. And it is so good. There's the Brett and Terry sheath. Excellent, excellent stuff, Terry. Y'all keep upping your games. There's a little Jason Grant, Joker. I hadn't talked to Jason in a couple of weeks. I need to reach out to him and see how he's doing. Get him to come back and show us some stuff. Just kind of scrolling down real quick. I'm about to get out of here. Oh, there we go. What's that? Bunch of knives, animals. All right, I'm getting out of here. I wasn't sharing anyway. I was just sitting there looking at shit. Paul Mills, those little minnows that Creeley Blades has are in Magnum Max. I don't know. I haven't heard any. I think he was telling me that Cedric and Ada had a test on it on their channel. I might have misunderstood him because, to be honest, I wasn't paying that strong of attention just because I have a hard time paying strong attention. Hey, Puck. What's up, buddy? Bashir. All right. All right. Yeah, I'm going to walk y'all down some more knives. Easy, Puck. I apologize for the loud cat. So I work around, and I should have taken a picture of Knives and More. I've got a video walking through their store, but their inventory changes so much. So what I've been trying to do is take some Instagram pictures of their stuff, just because it's stuff I'd never have the chance to hang out with. It's a little hidden canyon, little Benchmade, little sail knife, $150. This is a used ProTech Invictus. This is a really cool case. I like the pattern on it. And we've got, I mean, he's got more cases than any other knife. And again, these are Greg Dasher's, who is the guest after Halloween. There is the Magnamax Minnow from Creeley Blades, 5.5 inches. And the fret. And a Puma, which is a really cool knife. These German knives are the German traditionals, the Hen and Roosters. I'm learning about them. And these Pumas and some others are really cool. This is an expensive buck. This buck, Slim Protrax Limited, is titanium and MagnaCut, hollow ground. I can't get mad at it because I love the 110. I mean, Buck still makes, I'm sure it's treated soft. And then this is my buddy A to Z Spyderco that he traded in, a little Birch Chubby. That's available if anybody's interested. But this guy is probably as big as my handkerchief is. That's probably 10 inches. I don't know what kind of slip joint that is, but it's a case slip joint, not a lockback, but it's huge. And then this is called a case Cheetah, which is a lockback. And they're pretty proud of these. These are evidently rare. There is the Tried and True with the Kyle Coonley edge. And this is a case Culpeper. That thing's huge. A big old elephant toe, I guess you'd call it. And then there is a stainless steel 2024 Custom 02 ProTech Mordax in MagnaCut, pretty heavy. A Benchmade mini Tagdow in S90V, cool little knife. I think that's a bug out killer in my opinion. That one's G10. This is an Ed Martin Hitchhiker. Ed Martin's a custom knife maker who makes really cool little field knives, little hunting knives. A Spyderco Rex 21, Sage 5 in stock. This weird ass knife that I can't even begin to, just Google Puma Sea Hunter. And look at that weird ass knife. This knife is a Randall Model 8. That knife's $850. He's evidently a very desirable maker. It's even got a little compass set in the antler at the heel of that knife. This is an old Microtech that came in on trade. A very old Microtech if you look at the hardware. And then that's a wicked Glycon bayonet top serrated edge Microtech with titanium It's a Marathon Select. A very bougie out the front. Got a Demko 8020 machine ground down there in stock. Got several of the SOCOM Elites, auto and manual. Have a double gunner grip MagnaCut Strider. Dual gunner grip is just a sweet knife. And just cool stuff. I mean, I've been exposed to stuff like these S35 cases that are really nice. I mean, I would consider maybe carrying a slip joint again. Who knows? But yeah, they've got like the Bodacious and the Shaman, so I got to kind of play with them side by side. I still personally like the Shaman better. I know a lot of people hate this nubbin hitting your finger, and I know the Bodacious has a longer cutting edge, and the Bodacious is great. I just like the contouring of the Shaman. But yeah, cool knives at Knives and More. This is the slip joint that I fell in love with that I haven't bought yet, but it's still in stock. It's a little case GE Bone Stag Barlow Warncliffe single blade. I like it. I've never had a case knife. Little Italian, or that's a German switchblade, lever action auto. An old traditional remake of an old traditional. That's where a Microtech came out of a cabinet and stabbed me in the ankle. Benchmade mini Narrows. Interesting little knife. Again, interesting, but pretty cool, pretty cool. And then just a lot of custom, like Jarrett Fleming, new EDC. I'm not familiar with Jarrett Fleming, but he makes a very interesting knife. This ProTech or Cold Steel ProLite Sport is a great knife. Keep walking. God damn. I got cat problems, guys. But yeah, just really cool stuff. And, you know, it doesn't even feel like all I do is hang out down there. I don't make any cash. We had this knife down there, but it's on layaway now. Somebody picked it up. Monkey's Edge Strider. But I think what's so unique about this store is the people, the aficionados that come in and trade. I don't know anything about Paragon knives, but these are USA, a Cobra and a Mini Cobra automatics that are super rare, and they're older automatics. Cool knives, not my jam, but something you don't see every day. Lovelace design, just a little hard use knife, just cool shit. Battlefield pickup, Hinder sitting up down there. I won't bore y'all with the details, but there's a lot of cool stuff that I'm around. And it actually takes away the desire to buy them. That is a pair of MagnaCut Salt version Spydercos with G10 handles and MagnaCut blades that are DLC coated. Beautiful little pair of pair 2 and a pair 3. Interesting little case knife that reminded me of a Swiss Army knife. But yeah, I'm not going to bore y'all with that anymore. But yeah, if y'all notice, I'm more active on Instagram now just because I've got a lot of stuff to shoot content with, which is a good thing. That is a good thing. All my comments have gone away. All of my comments have gone away. What is going on? There they go. They're back. They're back. Nobody's taking you on the feet pics? I figure that's how you and Tate can barter. He'd probably be up for some feet pics. It is the little things in life. The great thing about oil or things like that is you can just one drop makes the difference where you can feel the change. You can hear the change. Just a mad win. Just a mad win. But yeah, if you're looking for a utility knife, I know a lot of people make them, Civivi, CJRB. I've not experienced theirs, but the Kaiser Sheepdog, we've all experienced the Sheepdog, and the ergonomics of the Sheepdog are so good. This is like a mini, between a mini and a large Sheepdog, but the blade is just a nice long cutting area. It's a great utility knife. It really is. And the top liner lock make it fun. And they're very, very affordable. It would be perfect for you. I mean, I know you don't like that nubbin, Shane. The Bodacious is a great, great knife. Richard, I'm getting ready. I've got a whole table of utility knives because I'm about to do a video on them. That's a USA maker, a custom utility knife I picked up back when I was making money, just because I found them cool. But yeah, I'm over it too. But I do have a wide variety where they don't all look like little butterfly knife. I think I've got at least 10. I want a Sage 6, but I'm waiting for it. I would love it to come out in S90V. That's the Sage that's got the button lock. And I'll tell you, there's a ZT, I think it's the 0513. It's an automatic and crew wear. I've never been a ZT fan. I prefer the Shaman 2 Brashear Bear. I think some people, and it used to bother me till I got used to it, when that little choil thing hits your finger, it kind of feels weird. And it's got the Bodacious has got more blade, but I don't like the flat scales. I don't know why they didn't put them a little more love in the scales. Absolutely. The Fastback is a winner. I think my favorite utility knife to carry is my Surge Panchenko. I've got Puck laying over there on top of them. But this is just a slip joint knife by Surge Panchenko. It's got a half stop, full stop, and it is a little razor knife. It's a slippy. Really tight, nice walk and talk. And it's light and thin. But again, a Milwaukee Fastback, the bomb. You had that Sage 6 at S90V. Nice, Jeffrey. Paul traded his Smock and his Manix 2 and Rex 45. The only Rex 45 I have in my collection is thanks to Shane. Shane had this little knife that was too small for him. This is the Bradford Guardian 3 in a Natrix finish in Rex 45. And it is sharp. And I love this little sheath, guys. Knives ship free. Just search sheaths. And they've got the small one. This is the Pocono. And they've got an Adirondack that's about an inch bigger. Great pocket dropper. It's a winner. Jeffrey Dawson's in the house. So does everybody have big plans for the weekend? I usually have very low-key weekends, and working from 12 to 6 tomorrow. You have a Fred Bella. I will, Knife Nut 69, shoot me an email if you would, just to remind me, and I'll send you pictures when I pick it up tomorrow from work. It is beautiful. I'm going to drop my email right in here. Uh-oh. I'm going to make a note of it, Knife Nut 69. But if you'll just shoot me an email or a DM and say Fret, you'll be the first person to get the pictures of it. It's blue handled. It is. I did do the wash on it, so it looks like this. And I got tape to crown the spine. So the spine's crowned, but the fingers not. Fingers flat. Spine's a little crowned, and it's got the bead blast. But you can see the logo. You just not on my lighting. Just trying to get it where the camera can see it, because I can see it. A little lady sitting there. But Shane did a outstanding job refining this knife, and it really did evolve from when we were at Blade Show looking at it, and he made some I think executive calls that made it so much better. Why is my goddamn technical difficulties? I'll probably get kicked out of here again in a second, because everything's freezing up on me. Perfect, Knife Nut. And I won't forget you, buddy. It'll just help me remember, because I should have it. I can send you a picture. I'll be able to send you a picture by noon tomorrow when I go in and but they're more available. Got the crew wear, Native 5, and nice score on the mystery box. What's the Mossad Ayub? Is that, hold on, Spyderco Mossad. Mossad. Ayub. Let's look at it. Oh, wow. Is this it? This wild looking knife? Because I like this. I've never seen it before, I don't think. Or is that an older one? Spyderco, it was great. I had a new knife guy in there today, and he's been in the hobby for about 6 months. And he was looking at, he had a Civivi button lock, I guess a Civivi button lock 2 in his pocket. And he was looking at different knives, and just to see his wonder about different knives, you know, and like Spyderco's right now, he thinks Spyderco's are just horrible. The look. And I said, yeah, but the thing is, I thought the exact same thing. OMG, Henry, we were just talking about that. You cannot lose. If you're talking about this knife, this is the Throw Club. This is in 420C. It's about $19 on Amazon. The blade is so thin and so slicey. I highly recommend it. On my unboxing, I liked it, my first impression. I'm getting ready to do a review on it. It's not one that I would use to go, you know, baton hardwood with, But for breaking down cardboard, for cutting food, for opening packaging, it is super sharp, super inexpensive, and it feels very light. The sheath has very good retention, and it comes with a pretty nice belt clip. The belt clip's kind of like a knockoff of a USA made clip, but it works well. If this is the knife you're talking about, which I know this is a throw club, this is a great one. I'll show it to you on Amazon site. Hold on. Because I don't want to recommend one that I don't know about. THW Club Fixed Blade. Here we go. It is $19.99. It was during it was $15.98 during the Cyber Monday all last week. It's got 48 reviews, all 5 stars. It's a little guy. 7.1 inches. G10 handle. This little knife I really like. I know it's not the greatest blade steel, but it's $20. It is a winner. I'll throw you a link in the chat if y'all want to look at it. And this is an affiliate link. You don't have to use it. But that is the Throw Club. And I think they just call it the Throw Club Fixed Blade Knife. 3.2 inch blade camping knife with adjustable Kydex sheath. I think it's a great knife. Let me show you how well it cuts. I've got cardboard. I can get up and get some, but the blade geometry on it is laser beam sharp. And I haven't stropped it. Haven't cut a ton. Let me get some cardboard. Hold on one sec. Well, here's some right here. I mean, it is thin, guys. A great little slicer. A little inexpensive Chinese slicer. Also probably a good throwing knife. I don't know what the Throw Club is, but they do sell some throwing knives. And I would hate to have this thing stick in the back of my head with somebody slinging it at me. I'd hate to be hit with the G10 side of it. But it's super pokey and very slicey. One that they reached out to me and they kept reaching out to me and I wasn't that interested. And I told them that I'd look at it. I didn't know if I'd be able to review it. And they said, that'd be great. And I did an unboxing. And when I unboxing, it's packaged well. It has a really good presentation. Hey, Colby. Hey, Cliff. Metal Relic Art. What is up, brother? And it's just a very good little knife for what it costs. What is going on, Dilemma Trauma? Good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday night to you. Hope you are having an awesome one. Uh-oh. It's Magna Cut, Knife Nut 69. Oh. Keep dropping my vape. That is not good. It is Magna Cut, and it's very, very thin, very tall, flat grind. So it comes down to a very thin edge. Not one to pry with, but for cutting stuff. And it holds an edge. Got a nice little big belly. Little pokey tip. It could be a little pokier, but I like it like that. It still will dig a splinter out. Beautiful acrylic handles, 10 liner. Interesting ergos, but they feel great. In my opinion, I'm biased. But Shane absolutely killed it. Y'all go check out Richard's. This is, if you want to wake up and see a cool way to start your day, Brother Richard and his better half. I know y'all are on your way back home. Dilemma, I have not been to the Bell in over 2 months. I'm due, but I haven't been lately. I've tried to cut back on my fast food. I'm trying to not eat clean, but I'm what you call a light eater. And I've got to be really motivated to go to the Bell. And when I do, I always get 2 Mexican pizzas and like 2 soft shell tacos and eat myself almost sick. And it kind of curbs me for 30 to 60 days. But to be honest with you, it sounds good. If it wasn't so cold outside, I would possibly rally. But I picked up some stuff before I came home so I can jump from here into said faction and try not to fall asleep on the couch. This week's been a bitch. I had to take my dad to the doctor for tests on Tuesday, and then I had to take him to the doctor's appointment on Thursday. Luckily, my little brother came up for that because that's always such a drag. My dad's got memory issues, and I guess the doctor's just trying to cover the doctor's ass because every time we're there, he always makes me feel guilty. He's like, well, is he still at home? And we're like, yeah, he's at home. He's got somebody that checks on him, and I check on him. Oh, he really needs to be in a memory care facility. You know, you're talking about my dad's quality of life and what he wants, right? I agree. It would be ideal if he would go willingly to a memory care facility. We had him in one for 7 months up until COVID. And then sometime during early COVID, we decided to move him back home because things were getting weird out there politically. I mean, the way they were acting, it was a new facility anyway that was run by a lot of temps, but it was strange. So we kind of broke him out of there and moved him home against our better judgment. And that's been not against our better judgment. We made a tough decision and thought it would be safer for him, but that was over 4 years ago and he's been fine. But he requires a lot of maintenance, like daily maintenance. And he's also the source of a lot of my trauma because I was the oldest son and he and I kind of butted heads in a big way. But I feel like this is the universe's way of bringing us kind of some kind of closure in the sunset of our relationships. Don't come this way. Oh, Puck, don't fucking come this way. The cat, you know how cats are usually kind of gracious and they can like walk around stuff if they want to and not knock stuff over. At least the cats that I've been around are usually pretty, coordinated. This cat is like a bull in a china closet. It'll just walk through shit. I don't know if it's a little retarded. Not that there's anything wrong with that. And I don't mean that in a negative way. But Puck is very feral. Very odd. He's an odd creature, but he's just visiting and he hadn't left. I'm not one to throw somebody on the street, but like today he came in and usually he hangs out and he just crashed on the couch the whole day that I was at work. He and Tippy both, they seem to bond when I'm not around. Absolutely. He does it on purpose. That could just be to stir shit up. They do know what they're doing. They definitely know what they're doing. But yeah, I did a lot of shopping for random stuff during the Cyber Monday, the Amazon days or whatever they call it. And I just never found any knives that just blew my skirt up. I kept looking, for just some really good deals. I bought stuff like a jacket. I bought socks. I bought stupid shit, right? But I didn't get any knives because none really seemed to be that deep of a discount. Some of the ones that are like Chinese brands that I'm not that familiar with, like had deep discounts. But when you looked at, like, they might have a 35% discount, but when you looked at the retail price of it, it was like, man, this is more than I would ever pay for, a knife like this. So to mark it up that much and then discount it, so what? That's not real. I didn't see anything that made me just say, I've got to have that. But they'll continue to be good sales. I buy a lot of knives from Amazon. Don't ask me why. They just seem to have, they have Spyderco's, they have Benchmades. And if you buy them from like the Benchmade store or the Spyderco store, you don't have to worry about some of the less scrupulous sellers on there. Most knife companies have their own store there, like Kaiser, Concept, Benchmade, Lion Steel. There are a lot. I wonder what the future of knife content holds. I wonder, as political climates change, if knives are going to be more and more demonized, or if they're going to be, what is up, Joe Isabella? Or if they're going to be more accepted as tools like they are. That conversation comes up a lot in the knife store too. People coming in, both old and young. I mean, people feel, especially people that work for the government or work in some of the defense contractors, they do feel stigmatized. They're really careful about the knives they carry to work because, like, when I carried a knife to work and I'd open a flipper, it was scary. I mean, people didn't understand what it was. That's why I could see a slip joint would be a good tool to have at work if you worked around a bunch of Nancy's that were scared. Puck, you're not going out. I appreciate you asking. That's a fact, Jeffrey. And I learned about Benchmade, and I'm probably getting this wrong, so don't quote me exactly. But for example, if you walk into Knives and More, their Benchmade Premium Plus dealer, they will give you, it's in the window under the glass, it's a 14% discount off of their MAP price, and they pay the Alabama sales tax, which is like 8.7%. So I think it comes out to, if you look at any Benchmade at Knives and More, you can take 24% roughly off of the list price and walk out the door with it. So as I've watched, and I've sold a bunch of those, because people will come in and buy 4 or 5 Benchmades for gifts. I mean, Benchmades are very, very popular. But they do a really good job on moving their Benchmades because, again, they give you that 14%. You don't have to ask for it, and they pay your taxes, which I think comes out to about a 24% discount. They do, Thomas. Have you seen their new boxes? They've got a new box that I think is it might be nice for them because it's a better presentation. It's kind of iPhone-y. It's kind of got a magnetic clasp, and it's got foam, and the little bag just sits in there. There's no cutout. It's just a nice box, but it's about an inch bigger. It's longer and it's taller. So for retailers, it means that under their Benchmade case, where they might have had 40 Benchmades, they might only be able to display 30 now, which to me doesn't seem like a lot of merchandising research went into it, because I don't know why you couldn't have made that same box and kept it the same size, except they've got some QR codes under the tab where you can get your warranty information and a lot of that stuff. That's true, Jeffrey. And you wonder, I always wonder if on those sale days, we have to think they're still making money when they have those sales, or are those loss leaders? But it does make you wonder the rest of the year what we all pay. That's why I've always thought, and I buy this way, like at Amazon, I'll look at reviews, I'll look at brands, but I also look at what I feel like is value per dollar, right? And I think there's enough competition out there that those prices for Milwaukee and those nicer tools must be viable because so many people stand in line to buy them. So I go back to, if the market agrees with the price and the market responds positively to the price, is it overpriced? If you can sell it for less, I don't know how fair it is to guess what a company's profit should be, not knowing what their costs are. The Crooked River's awesome. It is a beautiful knife. Shane, did you? I was up there with you. Did you make the deal on that Crooked River? I know y'all were talking about it. It's so funny. I hooked up Tate, the guy that's been doing some work on some of these frets using some of the equipment down there. I hooked him up with a knife for his work instead of paying him. And the first thing he did was he had it back in the back bead blast, and it was black with a black blade. And he's got that thing almost satin now. I mean, it's amazing what people, when I think you're not scared, when you've got the confidence to do something and you know how to use a tool, he'll go ham on stuff. He will go absolutely ham on stuff. I thought I did, but dude, I don't remember. And I am a dope head, or, I have no memory. I come from it honestly, dude. I have a freaking dad who is like an Etch-a-Sketch. You talk to him, walk away, it's like somebody shakes it. So I've got the genetic predisposition to just be schizoid, nut face crazy in the next 10 years. So of course I'm going to forget stuff. Hey, did you see the table shake? That was our buddy Puck stopping by. Hey, Puck. There must be someone in the neighborhood who he wants to go lay sausage on, but I have to be a responsible pet owner and keep him as an inside cat until he goes to the vet. Shane, I love you, brother. Geek Machinist, I got diagnosed at 46, buddy, and I'm so glad. Anytime you can find out what's going on with why you're so scatterbrained, it's a blessing. But for me, I take my ADHD medicine at about 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's extended release. So by 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, it's pretty much gone in terms of, so I'm kind of back to a little bit scattered at night, but I used to take a quick release at 2 o'clock when I was working for Spectrum just to continue to keep me focused, and I don't take that anymore. But it's ADHD can be a gift too. I mean, I learned to kind of negotiate or navigate around it, but there's some things that I think a lot of creative people have. I'm not one of those creative people, but it's different. Yeah, executive function issues suck. And what's really good, what I've done that helps me better than the medicine, is trying to change my behavior, trying to work off task lists. What's been the hardest thing for me is I had it pretty well managed when I worked with Spectrum Reach. I was an upper level manager. I traveled 3 times a week to different offices. I had appointments set up. Account executives would set appointments up. So I was kind of reactionary. And then I'd have, every Wednesday I'd have a day of calls with all the AE. So I had a schedule that was very, very tight. So it was easy for me to follow that schedule. When that job went away, when we all got laid off, and I came home and just kind of looked for a job, didn't find one because I wasn't looking that hard. And hell, I'm 58 years old. So I just started doing YouTube and didn't really have a schedule. It kind of threw me into a loop. You lose kind of your identity, because for 11, 12 years, I was doing that. And now all of a sudden I don't have a schedule. I don't really have, like, for me to get started making a video, procrastination's a killer. And And it's not that I dreaded making the video. I just find reasons not to do it. So at 2:00 in the morning, I'd be making tomorrow's video. I've gotten better at not doing that as much anymore. But yeah, for the first year that I was out of work, it was tough. And that's one of the reasons I took the job at Knives and More. It's not the money. It's good for my mental health to be out for 4 to 6 hours a day, engaging the public, right? Where it's very easy for me to isolate. I'm still online. I'm still doing social media stuff. I'm still going to the store. I'm doing stuff like that, but I'm not hanging out with a lot of people right now. There are not a lot of people I want to hang out with. You know, when Shane's in town, we hang out, but I've got a small tight group of people. My mom and my dad, I probably see more than anybody, but doing a few hours down there at Knives and More is good for me, I think. Because one thing I'm committed to doing, I'm not interested in slip joints per se, but I want to learn the basics of pattern, the case. And I want to learn cases first. And there are plenty of books that they've got down there that I think I can learn and look at. I mean, I don't think I'm a single blade. Every slip joint I have, except for one, my forever knife, is a single blader. And I think when I was a kid, I cut myself on my dad's all the time. So I was just never that big into them. But we have so many people come in. I hate not knowing. I hate being a quote unquote knife user, knife guy, and then the history of the knife I'm ignorant to for all practical purposes. Very cool video coming out tomorrow that you guys might or might not like. I think some will like it, some won't, but it is a buck 110 Elite Auto. It's in Magna Cut, G10. It's an auto, deep hollow grind, beautiful knife. Again, buck something I'd never even considered, even though I've got a 110. It's been a great knife. I've had that probably since mid 90s, late 90s. And the Elite Auto is the exact same size as this. It's just an automatic in Magna Cut and G10 with titanium bolsters. And you just push a little button and it flips out, not like a ProTech, but it's a nice knife. Heavy knife, yes, but a good knife, I think we could probably all get by with a buck 110 and simplify our carries. So that's going to be a weird video tomorrow. I think it's the first buck I've ever reviewed. Another buck I want to review is the Buck Alpha. That's a little small fixed blade that we've got them down there. I've played with them. It feels kind of good. Something about the word buck, I just don't, I've got to get past that. For the longest time, I was like that with Kershaw, where I felt like Kershaw wasn't my thing. And then Ryan Ellis insisted I check out a Bel Air, and I immediately bought one. I think the Bel Air, good bug out. Got one. This little knife right here is, I think, $159. It's used as an axis lock. They also make it now in a clip point, but I really like this blade. USA made. Very thin. Very slicey, Magna Cut. I just say this is a great knife. I mean, just a great knife. Feels good in the hand. They just came out with an XL version that Ryan also sent me because he bought one to do a review on. So I've got a review on Ryan's Bel Air and on Ryan's Bel Air XL. But for under $150, Benchmade's axis lock has never felt like this. It's just smooth. It's light. It's thin as a bug out. I think it's a bug out killer. In my opinion. But it is a good one. They are awesome. They are so good. And I'll tell you what else is a great knife that, again, 8 months ago, I wouldn't have considered it. But the live wire, if you like out the fronts, the live wire is a drop point style. It's got a very easy to actuate button. It's quality. I don't know what the heat treat is on the Magna Cut, but it's an out the front Alpha Scout Elite. Let's check it out. Bang. Sharing is caring. Here we go. Oh, yeah. I just think it's a good looking little knife. Little Magna Cut, small knife, probably 6 inches, right, Geek Machinist? Maybe 6.5. Comes with a little leather sheath. Yeah, I think they've upped their game. Well, they've also got a couple of FRN crossbar locks that Buck makes that I was not impressed with. We have them down there too. So Alpha Pro, Alpha Elite's the ones we've got. Hold on. Little Scout. No, the one we've got got this other handle. Hold on. This one right here. That's the little guy that we've got. It's S35. Machine textured walnut Dimelux handle. USA made leather sheath. Which again, I'm not a fan of the sheath because it doesn't give you other carry options, but I would get a sheath made for it. But it's a good looking little knife, I think. And then they make this FRN folder that, if they have a new folding. Let me share this. I wasn't sharing. Doggone it. That's the Alzheimer's, guys. All right. Everyday carry. This little knife, the Mini Ranger and the Elite and the Mini Ranger Pro, like this little guy right here. That's 154 cm, black glass filled nylon, which is the Grivory or whatever, plastic, for $114. I'm not excited by it. Not in the least. I mean, they're little modern knives, and I hate pop-ups. And this is the, let's see what the Range Elite is. Magna Cut, aluminum handle, crossbar lock, very basic, for $209. I mean, I guess price-wise, if you're looking at it against Benchmade, but to me, I think their Elite Series OG knives are better. Like the 112 Sport with a thumb stud, S35. Again, Bucks, I know we all look at them and we think antiques, but they really are good knives. And I'm sure some of them aren't. I haven't had a lot of experience with them, but I can tell you the little FRN ones just don't do it for me. Todd Carr, what is up, buddy? Henry, It got the smolt is $34.09 on Amazon. That is one that I have not handled. One of the few. Let's go to Amazon. But it's a good looking shape. Kaiser smolt. I think Richard had one when he visited. Kaiser's got a lot of sales here. They've got the smolt marked down to $55. They've got the beaver, the little small, at $36, 39% off. There's a smolt for $44. Uh-oh. 35, 45% off. Yeah, Kaiser's having some pretty big Prime Day sales, guys. Let's see what this one is. AEBL, it's the least expensive. I will drop a affiliate link in there for y'all to take a peek at it. And it'll take you all the other ones too. But the smolt looks like a good everyday carry knife. And that's another thing, Knife Nut 69. When I was the review that you'll see tomorrow on the Auto Elite 110, it has on the blade Boss. I don't know if the 110s do, but it shows the Boss heat treat. And there's such, I mean, it's just, even this old one. I don't use the sheath. They all come with sheaths as opposed to pocket clips. But this is a full-size paramilitary 2 style knife. This one's in 440C. It's still very, very sharp. It just feels like a tool because it's a heavy knife. I mean, it's probably as heavy as my infraction that I'm carrying today. My stars and bars. It might be heavier than the infraction, the buck, because the buck's got a lot more steel and the brass. But it's a well-designed knife. It is heavy. Have you seen the lightweight, Shane? They make them. They make some that have, I guess they're FRN type of scales. They don't seem to have liners. Yeah, I like their fixed blades over their folders too. Case has got some interesting fixed blades. They've got some that are in just like regular steel with micarta handles, and they've got some that are in Nitro V fixed blades. And the one that has the blade shape I like, unfortunately, uses that handle material that is like Spyderco uses from Tai Chung. That looks like G10 and this here. So not the Ridgeback Hunter. I'm going to show you this one right here. Is a little different. Trailing point. What's this one made out of? That one's nothing fancy. But let me go back and find a little fancier one. These are the less expensive ones. And then we've got I'm not seeing the ones we've got. They might be older years. Because we've got some that are $199 that are in Nitro V, and I don't think these are Nitro V. But they're big into the trailing points. Stainless steel. Yeah, it doesn't say what this is. This is not it. Stonewash satin stainless steel. But these aren't all their knives because they've got the little leather wrapped. What is it? Fixed blade knives. Huh. Hunting and fishing. And I won't spend much time at Case. Yeah, these knives are the ones that I grew up with. I had one of these little small leather wrapped knives. This was my dove hunting knife. That's a little double pack. Let's see. This one right here, these two. So this is the one that's in Nitro V. And I like it. Nitro V steel, clip point blade, leather sheath, micarta handle. And then they've got this one that has that plasticky G10 looking handle, but it's got a cool blade. It's also Nitro V. No, it's S35. I think both of these knives, I don't like that G10, but it's a cool looking knife for a case. Little hunter. And then these weird ones. But yeah, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot for me to learn. No, that was my cleaning knife, buddy. I carried it on my side. My first 3 years of dove hunting, when I was like 6, 7, and 8, I was my dad's retriever. We didn't have a retriever, so I would sit by my dad on a dove stool, and he would point, and I'd go out, pick up the dove. If it wasn't dead, I had to pull its head off, and then I'd use my knife. We didn't eat doves, but we'd always give them away to other people that were hunting. So after the hunt, my dad and all the men would sit around the fire and drink beer, and the kids would pluck doves and cut the breasts out. So yeah, my knife got bladed up quite a bit. And never really got dull. I mean, I know Dad used to sharpen on a little Arkansas stone. Laser Ghost Knives, formerly known as Blessed Knives. What's up, Donzo? Good to see you, brother. Happy Friday to you, my man. I hope you're having a lovely night and a good week, buddy. Good to see you. Blessed Knives, the handmade knife aficionado that you should all check out. Donnie makes a good fucking knife. $62 to $64. I think, I'm really trying to wrestle and get my head around the dilemma of why the makers don't push for the best steel, for the best edge retention. And the more I sit around the people that come in, what I consider just the commodity knife buyers, they're buying Spyderco's bug outs, but they're just buying knives. They're not out there on YouTube learning everything about edge geometry. They're just buying knives. They don't ask for it. They don't appreciate it. I had a guy today with his 2 sons. We were looking at knives. We were looking at cases, and I showed him those in Nitro V. And his first thing was not, is it going to be better edge retention? Is it going to be harder for me to sharpen on my whetstone? And, the answer is on whetstones. Well, yes, you probably want to go with diamonds, but a lot of these people, I'm surprised that more people aren't amazed by the new tagged out in LMAX. That's truly, kind of a waterproof knife. They don't seem to be swayed one way or another. And they definitely don't seem like the S90V tagged out in G10 is probably $110 more than the FRN LMAX tagged out that just came out. And I don't think I've had anybody say, oh yeah, that's something I'd like to have, the G10, which I would much rather have the G10 S90V for $100 more. But a lot of these people don't. I think you're right, Laser Ghost, Donnie. I mean, I think absolutely money wise, and their customers aren't demanding it. Their customers are, there's very few of us. And I don't even consider me one of the us's because I don't understand it. But I really think it's a niche of a niche that's out there pushing the limits of what steel will do. Now, maybe that'll catch on and it'll just become something that people adopt. But, you know, a lot of these guys want to be able to sharpen it on a coffee cup, or they're not that. I saw a Griptilian. I know I'm jumping around, but I saw a Griptilian come in the other day, a guy who worked for Huntsville Utilities, who was about 18 years old, and he compared it to a new Griptilian that he's getting for Christmas. And the height of the blade, his Griptilian was half the height. He sanded so much, or sharpened it so many times, that S30V, that literally the blade had climbed up to where it was like a thin blade. But he loved it, you know? It's just, I think a lot of it, when you've got a lot of the traditional, because I think the biggest, they probably have more cases than everything. Their customers, I don't know yet what percentage are case to modern knife buyers, but those old timers aren't wanting something that's a super steel. The S35 VN cases, which I think are really nice. We've got the little XX Barlow that's $99, and then we've got a Sidebuster Junior in a couple of different micarta patterns that are both S35 VN. And I would think that people would just be crazy about them because A, they've got the cuts instead of the nail nicks, because they actually have to be cut out instead of pressed, as case knives have always been. See if I can pull this up. But the, you know, carbon steels, the basics are just fine for them. So this is, let me share this real quick. This is a very cool little knife. It's made out of rich light, so it's super, super light. And the reason it's cut out here is, I didn't know this, but case blades have always been stamped. And S35 VN, you cannot stamp. But I think that's a very pretty little knife. I think the Sidebuster Junior, even though I missed the half stop, where'd it go? The Sidebuster's under $100. You can get it in burlap or smooth. I don't want the wood. Let's look at the burlap micarta. And that little guy is S35VN. Don't know what it's heat treated at. We had about 4 of these. They were all perfectly centered. I've bought, I think 3 or 4 Sidebusters, the acrylics, and none of them were centered. So the Crossroads series is evidently going to cross over to more knives and offer, you know, premium blade steel. And maybe that'll help get, you know, some of these people to understand that there are other alternatives. Is that S35? And then I'm getting off the traditionals. No, True Sharp, stainless, so that's not. But yeah, so you think about it, people have been buying cases forever, and they don't even have a blade steel. They do have a lot of blade wobble for the price. But I do urge you, Cliff, if you get a chance to just handle one of those S35s, I think you'll see that it does feel a good bit different. We're 6 minutes away from said faction, guys. That means Friday Night Flicks is about to conclude. So everybody can go over. I'm going to drop the link right here. The said faction, it's on Maddie's page, but it is right, y'all. Guys, thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate each and every one of you. I do. And I do hope to see all channel members Sunday at 4. There'll be another reminder going out. That won't be an every week thing. It's just while I'm able to work a couple of Saturdays. But look out for the guy or gal to your left. Look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Choose debate, not hate. I forgot to turn on my Jason Brown light. There's Jason's smiling face. I love you guys. Have a great night, great rest of your weekend, and I will see you on the interwebs. Peace.
The light went out because we only had a little bit, but are you high on cigarettes? And when that stuff runs out, you're gonna wanna make it. Are you high on cigarettes?
Let's watch two wrongs with